Hi guys, today I thought it would be fun to do just kind of a quick look through of some recent projects. I want to say 80 to 90% of these have videos up on my channel, so if you see something that you've missed, I will see when I go to upload this how many there are, and I will try to link the individual videos, maybe try to pop them up in the eye above. I'm not sure how many I'm allowed to add though. So to get started, all of this should have already been published by the time you guys are seeing this, so spoiler free, all of this should be up everywhere. This is a 2-page layout for Simple Stories. This went up on their blog, so if you want like a written version of this. This was with the Simple Vintage Woodlands line. Kept it really simple. My nephew is pretty like low-key, so I kind of tried to emulate that. These little Polaroids I think were my favorite part of the entire collection, so I made sure to get them on here. And I explained in the process video how personally, if I am going to use a ton of full-size photos, I'm gonna kind of scale back the embellishing. So this one, I have been watching Simple Stories socials. I can't share my video until they share the layout, so I've been waiting. This one I love. I knew as soon as I unboxed the Fun Times collection that this was gonna be like right up my alley. I did some school carnival photos, and I have a couple ideas for some other events that we can kind of dive into. This was also a new sketch release from Scrapbook Generation and Allison Davis. I will make sure to link that down below. I believe it's I think it was a 6x6 themed set of sketches. I can't think of it. They're always named they're always named like 1 page 4 photos or 6x6 1 page 10 sketches. Like it gets a little confusing, but it's a newer one, I believe from July. I will make sure to link the sketch. This one was for Tracy Reed for the new August collection, which was Besties with Brunch, Besties with Brunch, one or the other. Kind of kept my embellishing tone on tone. This one does have a process video as well. This whole area was a trust the process. I ended up loving it, especially the tone on tone stitching. This was part of the sketches from Pattern Play, which was a class that Allison Davis did. I am very much behind. I can't even tell you which week this is from. It was just one of those ones I flipped through. I really liked this kind of whole thing here, and kind of like a simplified version down here. So very glad to have gotten another layout done for that class. And I actually really like, let me pull that back out. I like pairing like the fiddly type sketches with Tracy's hybrid products. It just kind of makes it a little bit easier. I can scale down the patterns a little bit if I want to. I can really kind of cherry pick what I need to print. And I realized after the fact I probably could have done this digitally and then just printed this as like a pattern, but I like a good puzzle, so it was fine. Okay, July's month in review. This is a collaboration with Lisa over at Life and Layouts. We both randomly decided we were going to do month in review with For the Record from Simple Stories, and we both picked 2024 photos. I will say I'm glad that I am mostly through this project. Some decisions that I make with month in review I absolutely love. This one I'm just kind of plugging along, getting through it, hoping to be done. I don't hate it, I don't dislike it. It's very much just not my favorite. I think my brain wants to do something different, but typically once I settle on like a method, I stick to it for each month and then kind of think about different choices for a different year. This one is for the Bella Boulevard design team. This was another instance of kind of scaling back, doing a little bit less, and kind of keeping the focus on the sports awards night. I really liked including the shoe paper. All of the girls had like these cute dresses, and then they would have like cute little like Jordans, Converse. It just was really cute. And overall kind of just went with like a vertical design. This was also a really quick process video because I actually completed this entire layout in like 30 minutes. Sometimes it's really fun to sit with a layout for a couple days and do a bunch of things, and sometimes it's nice to just kind of have like a quick but well-balanced layout. Okay, another one for Bella Boulevard. This one, the prompt had a mood board, so I really leaned into, there was like a floral image that had some pinks, some yellow, green, and white. And I used one of the like creative cuts that goes with the Let's Scrapbook collection, I believe is what this is from. Same thing with a lot of the stuff that I pulled. And then one of my favorite things that I did in the process video was I cut a bunch of strips and made this photo mat to kind of coordinate with what was going on down here. And then I just kind of did tone on tone embellishing. It's one of my favorite things. Did really long journaling strips to kind of keep everything centered. And while this looks really simple, I like a lot of the details that are going on. So again, this does have a video to go with it. This was for the Sarah Scraps 7,000 subscriber hop just recently. This was another layout for pattern play. I started this months ago. Finally just kind of decided to pull it out and finish it. I love doing stash dives. I love mixing a bunch of stuff, so that kind of fell in with the theme of the celebration hop. So because this is so busy, again, I like to scale back on like the embellishments and stuff like that and just kind of keep it. This is super interesting. My photos need to pull the focus. Title journaling, a little bit of embellishing, and I'm done. This was, I tried to go out of my comfort and do contrasting stitching. I think I am very much a tone on tone white stitching. I'm glad I tried it. I think this particular like set of papers, I just didn't love it on, but there was so much stitching I was not gonna redo it. So it was kind of like, trust the process and it's okay. This one is, oh, we lost a card. Okay, this one is for Simple Stories. With Simple Stories, because I'm on their design team, I do try to represent the double page people. And I feel like each month it just kind of naturally, I settle into picking something for a 2-page layout. It wasn't really my intention, but I do love being able to provide double page inspiration for people that are out there looking for it. This was very much a trust the process. These were some newer sketches from Scrapbook Generation and Allison Davis. They were 2-page sunburst designs, I believe. This about took me out. And when I started putting these down, I was like, oh, I don't know if I like this at all. Trust the process, do your stitching, and it kind of blends everything together. It seems like it won't, but it did. This one I think is just visually super dynamic, and I think that's why I kind of leaned towards that sketch. And then a lot of times if I have something like really big going on over here, I'll kind of go a little bit subtle on this side. Somebody in my comments said that they loved that I had taken these photos. I don't do it anymore just because my kids are a little less excited about things like shoes and lunchboxes. He didn't even get a lunchbox this year. He's just throwing his lunch in his backpack. But when they were little, I did try to do this just because the excitement was there. Like, she loved that every single thing she had a unicorn pattern on it. He loved these video game shoes. Like, at this age, it was one of those things that I did kind of want to document. This one, another one with Simple Stories. This is the birthday poo collection, and I kind of challenged myself to remove the poo and see, you know, what could I do if I removed the characters? And I still had a lot of fun making, I want to say like a basic birthday layout. Not basic in a bad sense, but just kind of more, I don't know, simple. He's super not excited about anything, so like I kept it simple. This is a sketch support, so one of the free sketches from Scrapbook Generation. I've done this one a couple times. This is one of those ones that I go to when I want like a really big title and still be able to fit, you know, 6 photos, or you could even split this in half and get like 8 tiny photos. This one's just a really fun one. I've used it many times. So again, process video is available for this one. This one is for Bella Boulevard, and again, I got foam dots stuck on a photo. Don't even know where they belong. So again, if I can send in a double page layout, I will. I think it's, you know, there's lots of us out there like me who do single and doubles. There's people out there like Lisa who do majority of doubles. Lots of people out there that, you know, only do singles. So this was a fun one. This was another newer sketch release. I think it was like large photo blocks or something like that. So this is always fun. I like being able to break up the photos in different sizes, especially when they're not great photos, and then be able to kind of drop in things from like the cut aparts, maybe larger die cuts. How's my journaling on this one? And then I love any kind of instance that I can do some sort of a scene building. And this I talked about in the process video. For me, sometimes a title does not need to read grammatically correct. I just want the colors, the size, and the overall theme to support my photos, and it doesn't need to read to make sense. That's okay with me. Okay. I don't even know what's in here, so it's like a surprise for both of us. This Creative Collections, I swear I have not abandoned it. Lisa is being super understanding with my schedule. I have stuff planned to get back into it. I am somebody that I have to get deadlines off of my desk that belong to other people before I can do deadlines that belong to me. So this one is again pattern play. So at this point I think I've done 3 out of the 10. That's not bad for me. So a double page for Creative Collections, and then this is for Bella Boulevard. I think the prompt was favorite sketches, so this was a freebie, another sketch support one. It was one that I had been waiting to do for a while because it had this like wavy border, and like I said, I love anytime I can just use a bunch of embellishments and kind of create a scene in a sense. So, and then this was like the second time I had pulled out these Kiwi Lane templates. I've had them forever. I never purged them. I went through a couple weeks where I was making layouts with them back to back, and it was, I don't know, it was just a fun stash dive tool type of experience. This one was for Tracy Reed. I believe it was a sketch challenge, and so it kind of opened me up to different collections, and I found this 50-meter freestyle, which was an older one, and kind of just picked through and figured out that if I used some of the more basic imaging type stuff, I could do a layout about dive class. So that was what I did. And then I felt like when I finished it, I felt like it needed something. So I did go back and add stitching, and basically the stitching from here down is one color, and then the stitching over here is another color, and it kind of mimics the layers that were in the sketch for more paper. I can't print a 12-inch wide paper, so stitching kind of came in as a replacement for that. Okay, this one was pointed out to me that I have a spelling mistake. It's okay. The entire time I made this layout, I thought this said American. I think I just kind of glanced at it, got excited. So when I made my title, it says "We love this American." I am still telling myself it says American, and that's okay. We love this America. It's fine. It's fine, you guys. This was the sketch bundle one-page Sunburst, so a newer release. This was the first time I think I did Sunburst like this, where everything lined up, and I show in the video how I use a sticky mat to kind of check my progress as I go. And I focused on a lot of the Bella Besties because I have a lot of the patriotic embellishments from Bella Boulevard, but not the coordinating pattern papers. So this was just really fun. I loved how this one turned out. Jumping back to Simple Stories, this is the Happy Travels collection, I think. This one was for a blog post, so there is a video or a written write-up if you prefer that type of content. And I want to say that it's a sketch. It's from Allison Davis. I modified it. I can't remember specifically. It's either an SCT magazine sketch that I modified or Design Concepts Wreaths. I'm not 100% sure. By the time I go to edit this and upload it, I will try to go back and figure out which sketch I used for this. And then I had more to say than I felt like was going to fit on journaling strips, so I kind of edited my photos knowing that I was going to have this section over here because I wanted to keep this as a square to be able to use up a bunch of embellishments. And I think I discussed in the process video how sometimes if I have a collection that personally I may not have very many photos to pick from or use, so like travel, I don't travel very often, so finding photos that I haven't already done or are very like travel heavy, I knew I wasn't going to have very many. These were actually pretty current photos at the time. So knowing that, that's when I kind of allow myself to just go ham with a lot of like my favorite bits and pieces, my favorite papers, because if this is the only project that I'm going to make with this entire collection, maybe I won't have a chance to revisit it. I'm going to kind of pull out my favorites and put them all on here if I can, if that makes sense. Back to Bella Boulevard. This one was using the like May section of My Life 365. So I pulled out more of the Mother's Day themed stuff for a Mother's Day breakfast at school. This, I believe, was another free sketch support sketch, so I'll make sure to link that. And, you know, super simple, but still bright, fun. Still love the end result. This one is Simple Stories. Again, was able to do a 2-page for Crafty Babe. This one, I'm pretty sure, was a sketch from SCT magazine, and it had like, I think it was like repeating snowflakes, and I wanted to swap it out and kind of create an A-sided paper with embellishments. So this was really fun and just kind of a chance to dig through all the different types of embellishments and just have fun. Journaling strips, you guys know I love them. Okay, and then this one is Bella Boulevard. We were challenged to use the June section of My Life 365, which half of it was more like swimming pool stuff, half of it was geared towards Father's Day, but it was more like suits, like the tie icons. That is very much not him, so I stuck with more of the B-sides. I loved this fun plaid, brought in some Bella Besties, and then like I said, just kind of kept to the basics, and then really relied on the Luna Puffy alphas and the Bella Besties alphas to create a custom title that kind of went more in line with his Father's Day gift. And I think 100% this was a sketch. Hopefully when I go to edit, I will remember what the sketch was. I do try to use as many free ones as I can, especially for design team stuff. We shall see. I'm pretty sure this is an old sketch. Okay, then this one is the second layout that I did for the poolside release from Tracy Reed. This one I loved. This was a sketch from Allison Davis. I believe it was 5 photos, 1 page was kind of the theme. And when I saw these like sections, I knew immediately, like with Tracy's B-sides, that this was going to be a good opportunity. I've been wanting to do this for a while, especially with her collections. And I was kind of waiting around for one where most of the icons were a single color or, you know, 2 colors and stuff. So I kept the embellishments kind of in this zone and then used one of the bonus stickers for a title and just kind of brought in a little bit more over here. My journaling strip template for journaling, and I can't print 12 by 12 like I said earlier, so I just pulled in some wood grain from my stash, and I don't know if my camera's gonna pick up on it. I did I used some watered down white paint to do some splatters, and then I have this old like shiny type of spray from I think Studio Calico or October Afternoon, I can't remember, it's in the video, but I wanted to bring in just kind of the splash elements. This was the first layout that I did with Poolside. This was some new water themed sketches from Allison Davis, and this was when I first pulled out those Kiwi Lane templates. This just kind of simplified these wavy strips that are in the sketch. I don't love freehanding stuff like that, and with the templates I was able to kind of like lay them out and visually see what I had going on. And then it made it easier to figure out how to get an 8.5 by 11 size print to fit on these corners. And then just kind of kept it around the photos, tucked my journaling down under here. And again, process is available for this one. And then this one is a Tracy Reed layout. I'm trying to remember. I think this is a sketch, and then I was able to pick the collection. So I picked Strong AF and just kind of pulled out more basic icons. She doesn't have like a cheer themed collection, but I've been able to do a couple layouts with cheer related stuff that my daughter's doing by going more with like the overall vibe of what's going on in the photos and pulling in things like florals. I made Dickers for my title, pulled out some old Simple Stories like tile stickers, popped those up, and then did my journaling with like a right justified to kind of have, you know, this like frame going all the way around. This one was super simple, super easy to put together, and just kind of fun overall. Now let's move on to cards. I know some people are here to see scrapbook layouts. I have been getting more into sharing cards that I make. A lot of times when I get dies, I try to make a card first just to kind of play around and learn them before I go nuts on a scrapbook layout. So this is the stitching die of the month, I believe, for July. I think July was all Christmas themed stuff. So I made a shape out of this one, did some tone on tone stitching, and then this actually didn't come out until August. I kind of goofed on that, but I brought in like an older holiday themed floral and just kind of kept it simple. I love how this one turned out. I only have these 2 from this like release of products. I have a yellow one that has 2 like lovebirds on it. I gave it to my grandparents for their anniversary, so it's at their house. But this was again one of those things where I like to just kind of keep a color palette out, keep some basics. So like I did the oval dies and the stamp and die combo for this. I don't know, to me I feel like it saves a little bit of time when I'm working with like multiple die sets to just kind of limit how much color choices there are, how many different add-ons there are, that kind of thing. This, oh gosh, might have been June's stamping, or not stamping, stitching die of the month. I tried to kind of mimic like the boat kind of going towards land. So like this is my ocean, this is my sand, this is my little sunset. The letters are from the Simple Stories classic Pooh collaboration with Spellbinders. And as a reminder, I only get the stitching die of the month, so a lot of times I have to kind of get a little creative with what to pair with it, because the clubs are designed to kind of, you know, all work together. This one had like a lot of nautical stuff, so I didn't have like any nautical sentiments, so I had to get a little creative. This was the, I want to say like Dolce Vita release. I'm not 100% sure on that. I talked about in the video, I embossed my background, but when you go to use like an embossing folder, you know how like it clamps? This is upside down, but I'm okay with that. I didn't want to waste a sheet of paper to make a panel just to glue it on the front. I feel like you can't, I mean, yeah, it's upside down, but I feel like it's fine. This was another one of those things where I kept it to a color palette, and these were, I think these might have already been made. This is like a foil sentiment set where it makes like 6 or 8 of them. So every time I pull it out and make it, I put the extras just in a baggie and I pull them out all the time. This one I think was my favorite. Just kind of filled the whole card with lemons, brought in some blooms, and then I filled in the space with some white paint dots. This was a more recent one. This is the, I think it's the Simon Hurley Spooktacular release. So again, I've got 2 different die sets. Keeping the color palette kind of the same just saves me a little bit of time and just kind of allows me to play. I couldn't settle on which little ghost to use, so I made a bunch and created like a frame with them. This one I've been wanting to do like a texture tone on tone thing, so I used the sentiment die for that, and then just kind of made one of them stand out and made sure that I had like a wide enough sort of seat for the cat to sit on. This one was August stitching die of the month. This one I dipped a little bit more into my stash. I went and looked through some old stamps and I felt like this one fit really well. And the hearts are from, I want to say it's an old Lawn Fawn set. This one stays out on my desk to make tiny hearts all the time, and it was one of those things where I was like, why not? And I kept the color palette super simple because I couldn't make up my mind, and I ended up loving it. When I first saw this one, I was like, oh gosh, I don't know about this one, but I've learned to just kind of play and see what happens, and the end result was surprising to myself. This one was part of Yana's holiday release. I think this is meant to fit on a 5x7. I didn't know that until I started working on it. I think ultimately I was able to make it work. This is actually a press plate set that's geared more towards scrapbooking, but anytime I can use them for sentiments, I do. And this was another one of those ones that I kept a simple color palette. I actually used a like what are these called? The color deck. There's a holiday add-on. I used one of those for this. It's in the photo that I posted with my card on Instagram, so you can kind of see where I was going. I don't, as of today that I'm filming this, I don't remember if I've done a video for this or if I've planned a video for this. It might end up being a short because I only did the building. I didn't do any of the other stuff for the suite of products that goes with this. And then these are I'm not gonna be able to remember at this point what belongs with what, but basically July was a lot of holiday releases. So I've got this one, these two, and this one. I used another of those like holiday decks and tried to kind of stay within a color palette. This also sped up the die cutting a little bit. I basically kind of die cut everything together and assembled everything. I love this one. It came with this like Fa La La banner, and then I found this Just a Note was from an old club like die set, and I felt like it worked. These came from a different set that I think these guys are from. I got a lot of the July stuff mixed up, but I kept it separate in the videos. These were some more. This one I kept super simple, did a foiled sentiment and kind of tone on tone panel. These guys were so cute. They were so fun to put together. There was so many different like accessories that you could put. I gave her the list because we all know that she runs the show, and he had some snacks. And then this one, again, so many pieces, but these were so fun to put together. I don't know as of today if these will make it to a video, mostly just because it's a lot of die cutting and a lot of just putting together, and I don't think anybody wants to sit and listen to me talk about gluing little tiny pieces together. So that is just a look at some recent stuff that I've been creating and sharing online. I have some other stuff that I've created, but as of the day I'm filming this and that this is going to go up on my channel, that stuff's not like published. It's not been shared from companies and stuff. So that's kind of where I'm like drawing the line on like layout shares. So I'm going to empty that box and start putting stuff in it to do another one of these. So if you like this kind of video and you like kind of seeing everything as like a wrap up, let me know down in the comments below if I should continue and do this like every other month or so. And until my next video, thank you for spending time with me. If you've yet to subscribe, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you think other people would enjoy my videos, send them a link to my channel. And as always, I thank you guys for spending time with me, and I'll catch you later. Bye!